about for nearly 2 weeks. And now that the holidays are over, some of those winter blues may be setting in. Joining us this morning with info to keep those blues away, far, far away, is Jill Blackson, Deputy Director of Community Care Services. Jill, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure, especially at this hour of the morning.
Yes.
An extra thank you for that. And so this is what I found interesting. January 15th is known as Blue Monday. So this is a real thing. This is not something, we're not just creating this segment out of thin air. People sort of, there's a come down after the holidays.
I think it's pretty common this time of year, and especially when you have weather like we've been having, for people to start to feel a little depressed, a letdown from the holidays, start of the new year, maybe even some of those resolutions are starting to fall off as well.
Yeah.
So yes, it happens.
And not only that, I think that people are jolted in every time there's a new year. Wow, we hit a new year. What have I accomplished? What did I really accomplish in 2017? And what the burden of what to accomplish in 2018. So give us some suggestions. What can people do to really stave off those winter blues?
Well, I think these are things that you can use all year long, but especially this time of year to kind of kickstart your move is looking back, saying, I have done some good things, looking at some things that have been positive, looking at some things that you are grateful for, no matter how small, and then taking care of yourself as well, making sure you're sticking to those routines, making sure that you're eating right, and really exercise becomes important. Just kind of getting out there and moving our bodies, maybe when it warms up a little bit, if you can't do it inside, getting outside and getting yourself out there.
The routine part is really interesting to me. I mean, to what extent is that integral really in the process of improving yourself?
Well, I think it kind of forces you to stick to a schedule, and it kind of forces you, if you're having a hard time getting up and getting out of your house, to say, well, I have these things on my checklist I need to get done, so I'm going to get out there. And once you kind of get out there, it can help elevate your mood as well.
Yeah, and like you said, eating healthy.
Yes.
And that's also part of routine, right?
Yes.
I mean, maybe that means packing a lunch.
Right. Right, putting some things in place that I'm going to pack ahead of time. That way I know I have something healthy, because a good diet does help elevate your mood. There is that mind-body connection.
It's true.
Right.
Okay. So let me ask you, what are some signs you should be looking out for if you suspect maybe a family member is a little more depressed than they were the year before? Yeah,
because things can cross over to just maybe normal blues that we all may be feeling this time of year into something a little more serious. So if it persists, it's been a couple weeks, and especially if you notice, even in yourself or a family member, that you're not kind of shaking off that mood, that might be the time that you go and ask somebody for help and say, this isn't going away. I think this is more than just, the winter blues.
Yeah, but if you're trying to recognize something, problems in another person, in your family or a friend, you're looking for what exactly?
Well, again, if it seems to be lasting, if you notice that their mood is different, that they're not enjoying the things they used to do, they're not maybe coming to family events, they're kind of isolating themselves a little bit, I think you just ask the question. People sometimes get afraid to ask, but just ask that, I've noticed you're not the same as you used to be. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
And start the conversation.
And you might be surprised. They might be willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
And so change in behavior, change in mood, etc.
Yes,
all right, really good suggestions. And of course, I want to mention Community Care Services. You guys are based downriver. You have 2 locations. Just tell me really briefly about the services that you provide.
Yeah, we are a community mental health clinic. So people who are dealing with a mental illness or substance abuse issue can call us and come in and get some outpatient treatment, because there is help out there.
All right, and we put the locations on our screen, and we're going to, of course, post the details at WXYZ.com. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. We'll take a quick break.